I'm Barbara from Beach Fitness.
Allie from Soul Healing Essentials.
Hi, I'm Piata.
And we're Soul Lab.
As you know.
We're here today to talk about emotional detox. So something I try to avoid talking about.
I think a lot of us avoid emotional detox, so it doesn't feel great.
Well, but the thing is you can avoid it as much as you want. If it's going to creep up on you, so then you can either kind of know what you're going through and have that understanding, so the power's back in your own hands, or you can think about it as, I don't know what's happening, I just know I'm just going crazy, and and then you, I think, maybe have some, like, you turn back to your bad habits because you're feeling so overwhelmed and anxious.
Okay, so let's talk about that.
Yeah.
I think I definitely know the things that I should be doing on a regular basis, and I have some good habits for how to stay out of it on a regular basis. But then when you're talking about detoxing, like emotional detoxing, do you mean maybe enthralling yourself into some scenarios, like possibly what you're going through now with your nutritional detox will also bring out that emotional detoxing? Are you prepared to do both of those things? But and then also keep with your consistent habits, like trying to do fitness every day, which is one of what I think is one of my consistent habits, is now an emotional neutral. It's a neutral. Like, I have to do that just to stay at a neutral at this point.
Oh, I see.
So a detox would require something else. So maybe
something on top of that.
I had to go away to the spa for a couple of days to Altitude Bunch Palms to get that emotional detox and throw myself into several other therapies. And then now what you're doing.
That's you know how I'm always fighting biology with biology. So what you're doing is basically putting yourself into a more happier state. So you're fighting your sympathetic with your parasympathetic, so to speak, because we know emotional detox, it's going to creep up eventually, but if you are aware what is happening to your body, I think we would take it a lot more serious. For instance, the broken heart syndrome. Did you know that, if you are suffering from a broken heart, you're actually 50% prone more to have a heart attack or a stroke? So
I did not know
yes,
that.
it's scary. And Eastern medicine obviously recognizes that we hold a lot of emotions in different parts of our body, and certain things mean certain things. But Western medicine is actually starting to recognize it as well. So we have plenty of doctors, plenty of psychologists. Dr. Lopez over here that really believes that if we are not taking care of our body emotionally, it's going to show up into the physical, and it's going to create certain problems. So that's where our, what you're doing right now really comes into play. Because
I'll tell you about that in a second.
Yeah, the detoxing of your physical body with your juicing and stuff, it's obviously going to bring up some different emotions that you have. So why don't you share your experience thus far?
We had our full moon healing meditation workshop yesterday, and one thing that you mentioned in there was energy clocks, and I feel like it kind of triggered a few things, as far as I think that what I'm going through is a juice cleanse, and I've posted about it before, so I won't get too far into it, but I think what we overlook is the fact that whenever you've sort of developed any sort of body habit, look at why you developed it in the first place. You might have been going through some emotional stuff, and I feel as if the same way that toxins get trapped into our fat, and then when you're detoxing, literally those toxins get re-released. I actually feel like the same thing happens with our emotions. Those emotions get trapped at the time, and I feel like when you're doing those cleanses and, in my case, juice cleanses and kalimas and stuff, all that stuff is getting released as well, and I think you kind of get shocked by it, and just to kind of know that it's happening, I feel like is empowering already. But there's so many different ways to release it. Like for me, the first time I did a cleanse like this, they did something called Chine-san, which is a deep organ massage essentially, and you block and you keep and you trap so much of your emotional stuff in those parts of your body, and it's amazing when it does get released, because you're just flooded with that emotion, and you get overwhelmed with either tears or whatever. And in some cases the area actually really hurts, and as soon as it releases, the pain immediately goes away. And so I think that's something really important to kind of think about, is anytime that you're having you're trying to lose weight, or you're trying to do any sort of cleanse, whether you're not trying to necessarily lose weight, you just want to feel better, or you just want to try it, or whatever, this stuff comes up, and just, to allow the time for that. And I just totally lost my train of thought, but it was going to be really profound.
Well, I
part of the detox.
But it's part of the detox, yeah.
So,
I'll think of it.
So right now you don't really have the access to that particular massage. Are you doing other things to help you emotionally detox? Because I know you are nutritionally detoxing, I know you are physically detoxing, but are you doing something to help you emotionally detox? Because when I'm talking about emotional detox, it is, from my perspective, it is actually putting yourself through some efforts that make you shed and get rid of some of that crap that's been in you, as opposed to like it just automatically coming out, like crying all day because you had a bad day is one thing, but actually purposefully making yourself emotionally detox.
And to actually face it,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the stuff that I do is, first of all, we do have Candice Lopez, which is an acupuncturist, which I have her, thank God. I've got Reiki and sound therapy. I've got Barbara for my nutritional needs, as far as supplementation and all that's concerned, and that already is a huge help, just to have those people like a backup. I am noticing that I'm definitely going through some emotional stuff, like stuff's creeping out that I haven't thought of for years, and I'm going, why is this coming up now? So meditation's helping. I do cord cutting exercises, it feels like constantly, inner child work, and I cover some of this stuff in the weekly meditation circles, but that stuff definitely helps. And then self-hypnosis, and just really allowing that stuff to come up. And like you said, not just sitting there crying, but going, literally tracing it back to where's this coming from, and not just blocking it, not just doing something that masks the feeling, and just make it go away so I feel better. Because then really I feel, here's my profound thing I just remembered, because I think sometimes people get into the position where they're losing weight and all this stuff comes up, and it's not like they necessarily quit their diet or whatever, but they refuse to look at this because they think it hurts too much. But really, the reason I say they think is because whatever pain you're going through, let's face it, it's in the past, and it's you bringing it into your present that hurts, but it's already happened, it's already in the past. Nothing will hurt as much once you face it, and I feel like that can almost put a stop to your cleanse dead in its tracks. Like, fine, you don't want to deal with this, then we can't release a whole bunch, like equivalent to your right leg or left leg or whatever. We can't release that much, and you just carry that stuff around with you. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I mean, I'm just kind of putting my words into practice, and making sure that I do spend time with that. But I'm noticing that I definitely want to have a little bit more alone time, and to just have time to process it. And thank God right now, even at work and even at home, I can have that sort of
ability to think,
because it is difficult. And the fact that I'm doing it at home, it is difficult, and I always knew it would be difficult. But it is difficult. Normally you go to a retreat and you've got time to yourself, and you can get away, and you can go to the beach. And
I think that's the ideal situation. There's no shot, when we were talking about it the other night, there's no shot that I would want to do what we went through in Thailand. We did this detox in Thailand about 2 years ago, then you did it again last year, and now you're doing it here at home this year. I mean, it is so involved, this particular detox, raw food cleanse, then only juicing with some major detox components, and then 2 Kalimas a day. That's significant detox.
It's a lot, and I definitely would say this isn't something that someone who's never gone through the process and never even tried it, I feel like
juice cleanse is hard enough to do at home.
Proceed with caution, like if this is your first time, just go raw vegan for a week or 2. That is a cleanse in itself.
And that will also be an emotional cleanse for you.
That is a cleanse, So I realize that I'm doing it tough, but it's not my first time, which is the only reason I would endeavor it to this extent.
Because we also had access to theta healers and Reiki masters,
chakra
and massages every day, and
yoga, guided
lots of
meditation,
pool time, lots of meditation time, lots of free time, lots of time just to be in nature and in the earth,
and we had each other. We also had each other, and that's in some ways, thank God that you've experienced it with me.
I would love to bring up an at home I know you've experienced this, so I am actually a practitioner in EFT, which is emotional freedom technique, and it's basically it's a psychological acupuncture, so to speak. So it's tapping on the 12 meridian points you have to help release those blockages. So you can easily YouTube it, you can easily go on the web and find those different points to tap on, and focusing on what you're trying to release, and it actually really does help alleviate all that, what I personally call energetic clots. It's like, you know, your blood that's flowing through your veins, and you have energy that's flowing and it gets caught in certain places, and really tapping on those specific points helps. And I would love to for you to share your experience, because you enjoyed tapping for a year.
Almost every day for almost over a year probably, and it helped tremendously. I was addicted to I think it's tappingsolution.com, and they have a summit every year, and so then you can listen to multiple instructors talk and discuss it. Someone like having a professional is way easier and better than trying to do it on your own. It just doesn't make as much sense on your own. But I think that was an incredible experience, and for me, it's what got me into meditation. So everybody would talk about how they can't, like I hear people all the time talk about how they can't meditate, they don't have the headspace for it, they focus on other things. Tapping got me into meditation, so now I can meditate because of tapping. But that's just one more tool. The emotional freedom technique, EFT tapping, is amazing.
It's amazing, and you definitely can find a lot of guided meditations or guided tapping techniques with an actual professional practitioner on YouTube or on. I love the tapping summit. I think it actually just
summit I have just passed. And those guys are amazing, and I saw them speak live too, and I really just enjoyed. It's brother and sister couple. I can't remember their names, but I have all the resources. So email me at barb@beachfitness.com or soullab@beachfitness.com, and then we can get those resources for you. But you have an expert right here.
And if you want to schedule an appointment for EFT, I'm more than happy to do that for you, or as well point you in the right directions with Barb on where to find credible resources for that.
Yeah, but I think devising an emotional/nutritional detox in general is like probably one of our next steps. So if you guys are interested or want any more information on how to do these things, we're here to help.
Yeah, and I'm also going to be I'm not posting every single day of my experience on this. I'm not sure that anyone would necessarily need that information or want to watch it, but I am posting sort of what I did in order to prepare for this, and all the equipment that I've set up, and the what I'm experiencing along the way. All that is found on Facebook and also YouTube, and I go live on Instagram. So I mean, really, it's just kind of all over, because I feel like people want to try this, but they're maybe a little bit hesitant on doing things on their own. And then just before we finish, the other thing was, as far as the meditation, a way to really help yourself meditate is to go through the guided meditations and to have a regular spiritual practice type of meditation. So I've said this before, like Course in Miracles worked for me. There's millions of others, so that's not the only one. But something like that where there's like a plan, there's a layout. So you go, today this is my thing that I'm focusing on, and then it takes the rest out of the I don't know how to meditate. Well, you don't really have to, because you've got this mantra for the day, and that's what you're focusing on, and the rest you don't have to stress about.
And then really, always go back to the breath. Always go back to the breath. Like when your mind wanders, go back to your breath. And then it's not a miracle. You have to do it more than once.
Yeah, it's a practice.
It's a practice.
You have to do it more than once. And then we always invite you to Thursday nights at Beach Fitness. We have our meditation circles where we discover different ways to meditate, different topics, and just different ways to go about it. So you feel like when you have these emotional crises or whatever, you've got this little bag of tricks to kind of go, well, I'll try this, and just find the one that works for you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, thank you guys for tuning in. We are so excited to be back again here next Thursday.
Yeah, great. Thanks, you guys.
Have a wonderful night. Bye.